Hello, my sheeple, and welcome back to part 2 of Map of the Scrybe, me explaining a mod that I made, or making, of this game called Inscription. If you don't know what that is, or you haven't seen my first video, go watch my first video first. Let's get straight into it. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get right into the meat of the video. So we left off on the first episode with section 1 of my rulebook. And let's dive right into section 2, cost rules. The cost of cards, how the cost works, what are the costs, and how do the costs kind of originate? How do you write them? There's a lot of nitty-gritty to this. Right. Okay, first type of cost. Most basic cost to understand if you ever played some other Magic the Gathering or game that requires at least a little bit of knowledge on how to play. Not me insulting your intelligence there. There are 3 different types of gems. This is very heavily stripped straight from Inscription. They're gems called Sapphire, Emerald, and Ruby, just like in Inscription. Also called Blue, Green, and Orange gems. You must have a gem card or gem giver sigil on the board to use a gem of that type. Basically, I use some example here, mostly from Inscription, but also this is also example from my game. Let's say you have a card. It's called Ruby Mox. So it gives you a ruby whenever you play it. So I play a Ruby Mox, and if I have a card in my hand that costs a ruby, I can play down as many cards as I want, because if I have more than one, I can play down until that ruby card is destroyed. Now, there's more nuance to that because there's other sigils that interact with Mox cards, and that'll get more into with the longer video sigils that's going to come out way further along the series, which I'm hoping to actually get out pretty soon, comparatively. Let's jump on to the next one, though. Bones. Same thing as Inscription as well. Most of these first ones are the same thing as Inscription until I get to my original ones. It's just that the Inscription ones were super basic, and I do really like how they did it, and I believe that changing them will just kind of mess it up and not have the same vibe, which I do love the original vibe. Okay, bones. Bones. You gain a bone whenever your creature dies. Pretty simple. Every card has a baseline of 1 bone, or if you have a sigil, bone giver gives you an extra 3 bones, basically, so it gives you 4 bones. Pretty simple. Then blood. Whenever a creature is sacrificable, you can sacrifice it for a blood, and it can bleed other things. Like, let's say you have a card like Skeleton. Technically, that doesn't have a blood, but you could totally sacrifice it to play something that costs blood, and you have a max of 4 blood entirely on your board, usually, and because things only cost 4 blood, there's nothing above 4. There's 1 blood, 2 blood, 3 blood, and 4 blood. There's also a sigil called Blood Giver, which gives you 3 blood instead of 1 blood like most cards do. Pretty simple overall. If you ever played Inscription, you're just hearing me ramble about the same thing you already knew. Battery. You gain a battery whenever the start of your turn, and your battery keeps up with itself. So if you were to start your battle with 1 battery and not use the battery, it would give you another battery the next time. And if you were to use those 2 batteries, the next round, it would give you 3 batteries because it remembers the 2 and then adds another one. There's also another sigil called Battery Giver, which gives you a battery cell instantly. But then again, if the card you played cost battery, it's also going to take away battery cell, so it's just kind of going to leave them off for next round, so you can power up to the max of 6 earlier than normal. Now we get into my stuff, which is super cool in my opinion. I love them especially, and I hold one of them very dearly, which I'll tell you, which is actually the last one. Okay, dice. Alchemy. Dice of Alchemy. You start with 2 dice in your roller, and there are 3 things you can get with that dice. Either elixir, metal, or body. At the start of your turn, you roll all the dice in your roller, and if you don't like it, you can re-roll it next time, or if you do like it, you can lock the dice and not have to roll it next turn. You have a max of 10 dice, and you gain a dice every single turn. There's also a sigil called Dice Giver, which basically just a die giver, which basically just gives you another die. Pretty simple. Scales. Oh my gosh, I cooked with scales, guys. Scale determines whether you win or lose. The same one, the same scale that determines whether you win or lose. Now has two sides, light and dark. Light and dark is given depending whether you're about to win or lose. If it's light side, that means you're about to win. If it's dark side, meaning you're about to lose. And you can play cards according to what side it's on. The middle means nothing, so it's just neutral, so you can't play light or dark. And it's pretty simple, but it's very expandable. Like, you can change so much with light and dark. And I love it personally. And I guess because of how short this video is, I can have a two-parter within this. I can go on to section 3, right? Right? I'm going to do it. Just because of how much I care. Section 3. Starvation and buy and trade of cards. Pretty simple. It's just what the trader has. Same thing as Inscription, kind of, except she works a little bit differently. It takes a lot of inspiration from Act 2 of Inscription, which, if you're an Inscription person like me, you know instantly. Starvation, buy and trade of cards. Foils. First thing to explain, easily. It's a universal currency used throughout the map. So, if you want to buy something, you buy it with foils. If you have like a trade that you're trying to do with another player, you would use foils. You can also use cards, obviously, but foils is like the universal currency to buy stuff, which you can buy stuff from the trader. The trader is found throughout all the 6 major lands. Depending on the land, the trader will give you different cards, packs, and items of that type. Pretty simple. But I should jump to this first. There is a max foil. There's not just infinite amount of foils like an Inscription. There's a set number per 5-person campaign, and that number is 100. Something happens when you go over or hit that 100 limit, and I'll tell you in a second. But first, let's say what the trader has right now. Card packs. Pretty simple. You buy a card pack, and it gives you 3 random cards of the type that you bought it of. It could have a rare in it, but it's a little bit low likelihood, and it costs 5 foils to buy. Side cards. Side cards are, as I said in the last video, lower tier cards that are more like a jumping off point, and they're not really big on attack or health or anything really special. They're just kind of there to help you if you're low, which only costs 1 foil, by the way, so pretty resourceful. Common cards is a little bit more expensive than getting them in packs because you know what you're going to get, unlike card packs, which you can just get random common cards. So it costs 4 foils just to get 1 common card, which is fair, in my opinion. 3 out of the 6 rare cards. So rare cards are obviously rare. So they're technically considered common rare because you can just buy them. You can buy as many as you want of them, actually. So they cost 6 foils. Pretty expensive, comparatively. 2 out of the 3 items, which I did not get into items yet, but basically they're just useful to have in emergencies when you're in a battle. Okay. They only cost 7 foils. Pretty expensive, but they are useful. Now, thing you've been waiting for. Max of 100 foils. What happens when you hit 100 foils? What if all the players have 100 foils within all of their collective universal foils? Well, something very important happens. And that stuff is called starvation. Now, this is technically a term used from Inscription. It's a term meaning you ran out of cards, so Inscription starts to fill the board because you're starving of cards. But no, this version is different. If you run out of foils, starving is activated. The sky grows dark, and everything costs more, and some characters that you see roaming around on these lands just kind of disappear because it's dark outside. Pretty interesting, in my opinion. But, I mean, there's totally no lore to do with any of that, right? Other than that, I guess I should probably clarify a few things. Cards. They're kind of hard to explain without going to, like, intense depth, and that's just going to involve me rambling for so long that I'm gonna lose my mind. Characters like the trader also has like some crazy lore, and foils also are a little bit more complicated than how I put them, because sure, you can use them for like all these things I just said, but there's also more things you can use them for. Oh, also, I got way ahead of myself. Foils. How do you get them? It's not like you just get them out of nowhere, although you do get 6 foils when you start the game, but you're probably going to spend them instantly on something stupid, like a card pack or something. Why would you need 3 more cards with the only small chance of getting a rare? Anyways, you get foils by overkill damage, same way as Inscription Act 2, and Teeth in Act 1, and I guess the bot coin in Act 3. Sorry, I'm sick. Okay. Overkill damage. So if you're in a battle and you give overkill, it's the amount of overkill that you give. The scales, I was supposed to probably say, because it's kind of have to do with the cost. The scale is a 5-5-1, meaning 5 on one side, 1 in the middle, 5 on the other side. Once the middle, 5 is like light side and dark side, and whatnot. Okay. Other than that, it's pretty much it. But I think I want to drop a little bit of lore on you guys. Just a tiny bit, just enough to tickle your fancy. The trader. Now, the trader, unlike Inscription, doesn't have an alter ego. It's not actually the trapper. The trader is a weird being that kind of seems like she's everywhere. She's familiar. You never really know where she came from. She's just kind of there and has like this mother-like presence. And as much as you want to get away from her, she's very useful. You go up to her and you can buy stuff from her that she gives you power. And where did she get all this stuff? You don't even know. It's just so much of it. It's stockpiled in random rooms of Leshy's cabin. It's stockpiled random rooms of Knife Fox's factory. What is happening here? How did all this stuff get here? Where did she get it? Of course, it's not a story for today. And that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to now. If you like it, please give it a like. If you don't like it, maybe it's just not your thing. Also, why'd you watch it all the way to the end? If you did love it, please subscribe and consider watching future videos of this game. That should be about it. That's gonna be it, my boys. Goodbye, my sheep. I'm gonna go take a nap.